Counting down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody. Everyone else missed that, but
I know everybody else in Wales missed it, but you heard it. So at least we're starting with a smile. Welcome everybody to obviously this week's edition of Welsh Chess Chat. I'm FIDE Master Jonathan Blackburn, and we're joined by everybody's favourite candidate master, Alex Bullen. How are you today, Alex?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, John. Good, thank you.
Cannot complain. I mean, you must be feeling good. You've got your Welsh top on. I mean,
I have got my Welsh top on. I always think it's one of these things whereby you get it at the Olympiad, and then you're like, when can I wear it? It's very difficult to know when to wear it, because if you turn up at a tournament wearing it, like it looks a bit like, oh, look at me. So I feel like this is the only appropriate time to wear it. So here I am, little fashion show on a Thursday evening.
To be honest, I think I should start wearing mine for this as well, because I think about when do I wear mine, and I think the only other times that I've worn it is I wore it for 1 or 2 days at the South Wales International, and Olivia I think wore hers as well on one day. So it's a case of when do you wear these things, and also the other thing that I think we should wear, Alex, is those really tight black jogging bottoms that we got with them. So for everybody watching, if you we had a really nice outfit for the Olympiads, and the red tops were great, but the black, what would you describe them as, Alex?
Just like tracksuit bottoms, aren't they?
Tracksuit bottoms, but I think something went wrong with the sizings, or whenever I sent my sizings off, they were just a little too tight for wearing in public, shall we say. And I actually went out and bought some separate ones that were the next couple of sizes up for me to wear. So yeah, I won't be wearing those original ones around. Did I give mine to you in the end?
I've only got one pair. I wore them. I wore the tight ones. I don't think they were that bad on me. But,
okay.
I mean, they weren't great, but they were acceptable. But
they are quite.
The tracksuit top was really nice.
Yeah. I really like that. Actually, I should wear that more often, just because it's actually quite comfortable to play in. But do we feel like we actually, if we do wear our Welsh qualified tops when we go to tournaments, is that maybe a bit arrogant to do that?
I feel like it is in Wales. I feel like if I turned up to a tournament abroad wearing it, I think that's okay. But if I'm going to the Newport Congress, if we're there on the Friday turning up in our Welsh attire, it's like...
and arriving at the same time as well, yeah?
Yeah, well, obviously.
Out of a limo.
I think it's giving people sort of that extra motivation to take you down.
Yeah.
Going, oh, I'm going to be it, it's Welsh tops. So.
Yeah, you don't want to give people extra motivation. But okay, well, thanks very much for joining us if you're watching live or watching on record. And I think, first of all, a bit of an apology. We were originally going to have a stream on Tuesday night covering Title Tuesday. Last week, I just realized that I was just too tired to keep doing it. So I'm not going to be doing the stream on Tuesdays anymore. So I'd actually cancelled it. And then Johan said that he was going to do it. And then we had like technical issue after technical issue after technical issue on Tuesday night as to why that didn't go ahead. So we're just going to have to play it by ear for Tuesdays at the moment. If Johan wants to try again for this Tuesday, he's more than welcome to. And we'll see. And yeah, everybody's second favourite FIDE Master is not with us tonight. He's yes, I have been planning that one, Alex, for quite some time.
Well played.
Yeah, he's busy enjoying himself somewhere. We've been told, but he'll hopefully be back next week. But okay, well, let's have a look at what we got to talk about today. Obviously, we'll be covering just as a bit of a shock. We'll be having a look at the Welsh Chess Union calendar. You excited about that, Alex?
I'm very excited. Yeah, I haven't been on there since last week. So.
Yeah, you haven't. What? Do you actually not check it anymore? Do you just wait for the weeks to come by?
I don't go on the calendar. Yeah, no, because it's a spoiler, isn't it?
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
It's a TV show. I wouldn't go and find spoilers, and it's the same with the Welsh calendar.
I like how you described that, actually, because I mean, sometimes I've been like refreshing it. F5, just refreshing it every few seconds, really, just to see if there's an update.
It's better this way, because when you go on the calendar, if people watch me, they'll be able to see some maybe genuine shock on my face if there's a new thing added.
Yeah, no, I like that. Okay, and okay, well, the Welsh Chess Union ratings then are going to be. Is there going to be any change? There might be a change.
I mean, now the league started, there'll be games going all the time, I imagine. Certainly in East
Okay.
Glamorgan. I'm not sure about the other areas.
It'll be really good to get to know how, or maybe do some sort of coverage in the future of all of these different leagues that there are covering, well, the whole of Wales, I guess we could technically argue, but do you know how many leagues there are covering Wales?
I would guess 4 or 3.5.
Are you covering the Chester and North Wales League as the half?
Yes, because
Okay.
it's half in Wales, and then there's definitely East Glamorgan, Gwent, and West Wales. I mean, there's probably still a Dyfed League, but I don't know.
All right. Well, maybe we'll look into that just to kind of, and we could even maybe draw the geographical areas that they actually cover as well, which, to overlap each other. Would be quite nice. Okay, kind of linking in with that, then that takes us on to the WCPL, obviously the biggest tournament of the year, Welsh Chess Premier League, that stands for. And teams have been submitted for that, and we'll talk more about that as we come to it. Title Tuesday, obviously our stream was a little bit of a no-goer, but it was also some of our efforts for Title Tuesday were a little bit pathetic this week as well. We still need to talk about it because there were some changes, and the pictures that we got there in the bottom right might explain some of the changes too. And yeah, it seemed that everything that could go wrong did go wrong. But I mean, it's still a really good source of games for us. And maybe last but definitely not least, we've got the World Youth Championships in Mexico, and also the World Seniors. I didn't look where the World Seniors was.
It's in North Macedonia.
North Macedonia. Okay, excellent. And so hopefully we'll take a little look about how the team's going on in that tournament and take it from there. So are you ready for the calendar?
I am.
Yeah, right. Okay, so hang on a minute. Oh, let me get rid of this picture of Cramnet that I just found. Okay, so if I just minimize that, where did my? Oh, was that my? That was my. Oh, I've gone and completely ruined everything.
So we're all just checking out your desktop whilst you're doing that.
It's all right. It's just a Welsh.
Got his finances on there.
Yeah, I got my finances on there. When you're self-employed, you've got to do things like that. So calendar, and okay, this weekend. So Newport's gone, so we're currently down to this weekend in Rill. In fact, I should probably just go Rill and press start in. Not journal.
What everyone wants to know, John, is have you made a decision on whether you're going to play yet?
Yeah, my current decision at the moment is no.
Is no.
Which is a real shame. I really wish that I'd have played in this tournament. I actually probably should have supported this tournament rather than going down to Newport a week and a half ago, because Rill's closer to me and I can actually drive to it. It's just with I've just got so much going on at the moment. So we've got a Welsh Junior Training Day coming up in October that I need to prepare for. And actually, I'd probably do more work before the actual weekend than I do actually on the weekend. You know, the actual teaching of the material is actually quite easy. I find that I find it quite rewarding actually, and quite a lot of fun. But the actual preparation for it is huge. Then I'm also organising a tournament in November. Some half-day tournaments in October, November half term. So it's really busy time for me, and not on top of that, I also contacted my local MP last week or 2 weeks ago about just chess, and she sent out an email to all of the schools in her area about chess in schools and communities and getting some free chess sets, and literally my emails have been going crazy ever since Monday morning. They've just been coming in like left, right, and centre. I'm just like, oh my god! So come back to I leave it for a few hours on Monday. Came back and I had like 15 emails of the head office forwarding on this registration form. So it's quite a busy time for me at the moment. Also, with school starting, all of my school clubs have started, and they've only just started. So I need to get all my registers all sorted with that. So that's my big excuse. Does that sound okay?
I think that's fair. I mean, you kind of played a lot during the summer, so I don't think anybody can ever just play always all year round. Well, there's some lucky people, I guess, who do. So yeah, I think it's natural. You'll have times when you're busy, times when you're not busy. I mean, when you said you weren't playing, I almost got a tab open, was going like booking.com to go and find some accommodation. But I've seen now there's a couple of players there who might mean it's not so smooth.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I did. I mean, I am very, very tempted because I can actually drive there on the Saturday morning. You take a buy on the Friday night, but you've still got some pretty useful. I mean, obviously, we know Charles Morris, Oliver Jackson, Mike Surtees are dangerous, but even the others can also be dangerous too. And do you know what? Oliver Jackson, last time I played, he beat me, and he was rated 2100, 2150 or something like that then. He's now rated something like 2040.
Oh, is he?
You know, Mike Surtees is like the same rating, and so is Charles Morris, and these players are all very dangerous as well, which is pretty crazy. So that open section's, and I don't know about the rest of them. I don't know them very well. I've heard a lot of some of the names before. Obviously, I'd be clear favourite to still win it, probably even with a half-point buy, but I'm just too busy. But the other sections have been really well entered, though. You know, you look at the minor and major section, and this is how many people are in there. So it's still a really well entered tournament. I've got some of my juniors going there that I coach as well. I won't tell you who they are, but a lot of people here that I recognise. People popping over from the Crew Chess Club as well that I can see. So, I mean, how many people is that actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 15, 18. Down to my mum and dad.
Oh, yes. Absolute legends.
So about 39 entrants in each section there for the minor and the intermediate. That's not bad at all.
That's pretty good going. I think they've grown a lot since I last looked at it as well. It seems to have been quite a flurry.
Yeah. I mean, people don't tend to leave it late, don't they, when they're entering tournaments, which is a risk now.
It is. It is a risk.
Yeah, because you might find the tournament's full up and you can't actually get a spot, which is very interesting. So, okay, great to see Raw back on. Massive apologies from me for not being there. I really should be, but it's just the way things have fallen. But yeah, okay, real this weekend. Still, I guess, time to enter if people do want to enter as well. And the entry forms on the Welsh Chess Union website. But then, okay, well, this is probably quite a big one, though. Also coming down your way. Are you entering the Blitz?
Well, it's interesting because basically no one has entered it, especially not Welsh players.
What?
So all the top players are English players who've identified it as an easy chance to qualify for the final.
I see.
There's some Welsh juniors playing, but it's just been snubbed by.
Well, at the moment, right?
At the moment, yeah.
Are they not leaving it to? I'm trying to find where we are.
I assume the entry fees go up or have gone up.
Oh, right.
I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, only 14 players. I think it's got even less than the Northern Ireland one. But it's kind of weird because I know a lot of people. When it was in Cardiff, there was usually a good turnout. I only played it once, I think, the qualifier, but there was like a reasonable number. And we still had Marcus Harvey then came to play, and a few people from Bristol, but it was mostly Cardiff-based players. So I don't know the reasoning for a lot of people, and maybe there will be again another late flurry, but it sort of stands out as quite surprising, I'd say.
So are you not entering, or?
I haven't made a decision. I mean, I think my main problem with it is it's like 26 quid to enter.
Okay.
Plus, I have to get a train there and back. So I'm paying like over £30 to play 4 or 5 good players. When I could stay at home and play, if I wanted, I could stay at home, go on chess.com and play 15 good players. do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm doing all that effort. And the only reason I'd go is if I was like, okay, I'm going because I'm going to come in the top 2 and qualify for the next round.
So do you not think you could get in the top 2 with that group?
I think probably 50% chance. I don't think I'll finish ahead of Dong. And
he's good at blitz, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I think even not a blitz, he's a good player. And I think, I think I could beat him in a match, but I don't think I could finish on more points than him. And then the others probably I could, but it's like, what's the point, really?
Yeah, so I mean, Stanley Badasconi is coming all the way from London by the looks of things.
Yeah, I mean, I see his blitz rating is nearly 20, it's over 2,200, so he probably does quite like it. But I guess the other thing in my mind is whether I really want to be playing blitz like right at the start of a season. It feels like switching modes. So it's like, okay, Welsh Rapid and Blitz, they hold like end of April, so it's always right at the end of the season, right? I still maybe will play some classical afterwards, but it's maybe a nice break. But to start the season, just start playing classical, then to go into Blitz mode, and then back to classical a week after again. Just like another thing to consider. It's not a defining factor, but I think it's one of these. Honestly, if it was in Cardiff, I think I'd probably be tempted, but just the fact it's Bridgend is probably the nail in the coffin for me.
That's really interesting. You talk there about switching between game modes, because I guess some people can switch between Blitz, Rapid, and long play very easy. I mean, I don't even know whether I do or not, because I've just focused purely on long play most of the time. But do you find it really difficult to switch between Blitz and long play?
I mean, not always, but I think sometimes. So it's only over the board Blitz, obviously, because playing online, I think it's just a completely different thing. But playing over the board Blitz, there's just something about it. And, sometimes it's great. It's a great feeling. But I think, when you're in that habit of just moving on instinct, and then like a week later, you're playing a tournament that is maybe your only target for the rest of the year, then it's maybe not so sensible when you could spend that day actually doing some proper study.
Maybe if it's the week before a tournament, which is super important, like you wouldn't be playing in the Blitz tournament a week before the Welsh Championships, would you?
No, sure.
That's definitely not the time to play it, or a week before the Olympiad. But it's not that close to these things. And is there a long play tournament just after it? Is there?
Well, so this is on like the Sunday, and then I'm not playing this one. I'm playing in Magaluf, but it's the same date.
Okay, so you're traveling abroad for Magaluf there, but there is this. Well, it's quite surprising, to be honest, that there's not more Welsh entrants here, which is crazy to see, because for me, if you've got a car, maybe unlike Alex, can get to Bridgend quite easily, I'd still be jumping into this as quick as possible. It's a lot of games. Yes, it is Blitz, but it's still a lot of games of chess. It's a lot of fun to be had. You can treat it a little bit less seriously because it's Blitz, and you'll play against some really good players. You also play against some players down the bottom end as well. It's a great kind of chance to mix everybody together, which I think is always a nice kind of atmosphere and quite a fun thing to do. And the games come thick and fast. I remember playing up here in Bolton, I think I went to, and I thoroughly enjoyed the day as well. It was really good. I remember having quite a number of good games against people like Andrew Horton, for example. He's an IM now, I think, and I should have beaten him. And I was just amazed. He went down to like 2 seconds on the clock, and yet he was still moving in time. I was like, oh, I didn't think people could do that. I was just going to win on time. And he kept on moving. I was like, no, what are you doing? Sacked a piece for 3 pawns and thought he'd just crumble. And he just kept playing quiet, like calmly and quite good. But great to see a lot of juniors entering as well, obviously down here. And one thing we didn't mention last week, actually, was the winner of the intermediate section out of Newport was Yaroslav Shahadiski, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, so well done to Yaroslav. Sorry, apologies for not mentioning it then, but yeah, great performance. But yeah, I mean, hopefully there'll be a late flurry of entries. I'd love to see Greg in there, Jose, Daniel, and
we want to see Daniel in there. The
Daniel
Welsh
in there.
champion should be
Alexis Herakis as well is down there, I believe.
Who?
Alexis. Well, when we come to the ratings, you know what I'm about. Well, okay, the week after you've got the South Wales Autumn Congress and the Welsh Under-8 and Under-9 Championships. Let's just have a little click on this just to see who's actually entered.
Oh,
is that it? Is that it?
That is it.
Where's everybody else?
They usually do very well, these kind of congresses. I think there'll be a late surge. I mean, usually they get 40 to 50. Yeah. Oh, because it's just one section, isn't it? Yeah, there's no intermediate, but
oh, okay. So it's just one big section.
Yeah, but I think it works. It's been well supported before. It looks like Sam Dukes will be defending his title if.
Well, I mean, that's a bit of a at this moment in time. That's quite a bit disappointing entry. Hopefully, that'll skyrocket. An extra 50 players could easily get into that as well. So, you can't. The tournament's been put on. Get yourselves entered into that. That's in Cardiff North. It seems an absolute no-brainer to actually play in that one, unless of course you can fly over to Magaluf and play in your tournament, which is obviously nicer.
Well, now you say it, it's actually a shame that I can't play this one because, like I just said, myself and Sam won it last year. So I think it's always, out of principle, when I win a tournament, I always try and return the next year. Not necessarily to defend it, but just so that I can maybe respect the tournament by going back. But I think it wasn't on the calendar when I planned Magaluf. So it's a shame, but it's in good hands, hopefully.
Well, okay. Well, good luck to Sam for defending it, and we'll maybe give you some ribbon if I get flying off to Magaluf. But I'm sure you'll have a great time. Weekend after that, myself and Johan are doing the coaching weekends. That's what I was mentioning before. A lot of work goes into organising it beforehand, and then for some reason the tournament not in Wales is advertised on the calendar still, which is Guernsey, which I guess I don't mind. But it can't be full of every tournament that's not in Wales. Otherwise, when does it stop becoming? Should we have tournaments not in Wales on the calendar?
No, not on the Welsh calendar. Maybe if they wanted to have a separate one for. But I mean, that's what like the FIDE calendar's for. The other calendars out there. So
have we actually had the FIDE calendar on stream yet?
Well, it's kind of terrible, but
it's an absolute horror show of a calendar.
I suppose actually maybe for future. We could look at how to find tournaments abroad.
Yeah, we'll do that next week because I know there's probably a lot of people thinking, how do you find a tournament in France? I know that some people do go to France to play and all these other tournaments, and I guess this is how these people get people to go abroad. Because you go to the English Chess Federation calendar, they have loads of tournaments on there from other countries. Obviously, like Welsh tournaments, for example. Which maybe they could argue they shouldn't have on the English Chess Federation calendar, but it makes sense for them to do so, with being quite close. Okay, so not really much else. Obviously, we've got the WCPL round 1 on the 22nd coming up. We'll talk more about WCL in a second. West Wales Congress, that's a bit further out in November. And then anything else? Junior Quadrangular International Team event, December the 9th. That's new, I think. I'll be seeing if it's in Liverpool. I'm only just over an hour away. Hopefully I can go over there and see how they go on. Because I've been wanting to go to that event for ages, but it's just never been possible or not invited, which is interesting. Junior Rapid Play Championships on the 16th of December. Was that on before?
I feel like it was.
Okay. Maybe I'm just.
I think just because this is venue to be announced shortly, I think we just skimmed over.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, it looks like a really busy calendar down this end as well, which is really good to see. But we've still got the tandem tournament. I hope this is like both of you on the bike at the same time on a tandem bike playing chess. That'd be awesome if that's what that is, but maybe not. And the South Wales International dates for next year as well are in, which is great. So well done, guys, for keeping the calendar up to date. One thing that we didn't mention before, sorry, just came to me now, Alex, actually, if you click on the officers, I'm pretty sure there's been some updated officers here. Deputy Executive Director, Peter Slater, is that new? Peter new?
I can't comment. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure he is. And also David Norris, has he always been International Rating Officer?
No, because it was Robert Taylor until he passed away.
Okay. So thank you, David, for stepping into that, and obviously his great work at Newport. So I thought there was maybe someone. Was it Peter Slater as Deputy Executive? Howard is still Chairman of Selectors, so he's the one to cozy up to. And Vice President is Dennis Thomas. Is Dennis new in that role?
I feel maybe it might have just been vacant before.
Yeah, I think it probably was vacant. I don't think anybody was doing it, but
I don't know what a vice president has to do. I'm not really clued up on the roles of many of these people, to be honest.
I guess if the president isn't there, then they become the de facto president.
Okay.
But I would have liked, say, something from the Welsh Chess Union to go, just not a statement, but maybe even a Facebook post on their official Facebook Welsh Chess Union group to say, this person has been appointed into this role, just so we know that somebody new has come in. Or do you think it's just not important? I don't know.
I see your point. I think probably for the WC, I'm not sure in what situation anyone would need to know who the vice president was, or the fact that we have this page just lets people know as and when they need to.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I quite like it. I think it's great. You can contact who you want to.
I have to admit, I've never seen this before.
You've never seen this before? You mean you haven't clicked down all of these tabs on the Welsh Chess Union webpage? You haven't clicked down every single one to see what's there?
I was having a snoop at some point last year because I needed to find something important, but I think I just didn't bother clicking WC officers because you know what it is. You see it and you think, well, I don't need to contact an officer, so I'll just skip it.
Well, the funny thing is that actually if you click on, you have to scroll down a bit, but if you click on coaching, right, there's actually only 2 coaches in the whole of Wales, me and Daniel.
God, not much to choose from, is there?
No, not much to choose from at all. Haven't updated that in a while. I'm guessing neither's Daniel, but they've also got some junior clubs here that they've listed as well, which is a good thing, but I'm sure there's more than that going on, and whether these are still up to date or not, I don't know. But okay, that's not me moaning, by the way. I think this is a good page, and we'll move on to the ratings and see what's happening here. So we click on all, and then you want me to click on new, right?
Well, I think you always should, right? So you can see
my minus 23 is killing me right now. Oh, I'm still above 2300 though, which is okay. So this is the top at the moment. Any big changes there? I don't think there are.
I don't know, because it says when everyone last played. There's nothing in the last.
No.
Since 8 days ago.
20th of the 9th for Peter. So Peter must have played a league match.
Oh no, Peter's at the seniors. We'll come on.
Oh, the seniors and Tom Brown.
Tom Brown played last night.
Right, so a few more changes here.
In the league.
Right, okay. So a few things here. If we click on the difference, so Arush is still right at the top. Well done, Arush. Jack Hannigan's gaining some points there, and Vince Tussar. So I guess Jack 125 points is still a big chunk, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to that.
So yeah, because these have got quite low starting points as well, haven't they? And I'm guessing most of these are juniors. Although I don't actually.
Only the ones in blue are juniors.
Oh well. Okay, yeah, that's true. It still had Ethan as a junior, so is he technically still a junior?
No.
Okay. So I'll tell you what then. So for adults here, so Rob Frame, David Battel, Vince, and Jack gaining over 100 points already. It's pretty good going, really.
It is. I'll tell you what's actually interesting. So Vince, Rob Frame, and James Williams, they all play for the same team in Bridgend. So the fact they're all improving a lot, it makes me think whether they're all sort of working together or, clearly they're putting in some serious work down in Bridgend to all be jumping about 100 points.
Well, they're hosting a lot of tournaments there, and I know that. I think Nathan Tricky's doing some junior club work there as well.
Okay.
So it'll be pretty good to see. But yeah, and okay, well, there's a lot of noughts in these columns. I'm sure this will change by Christmas time. Although I know that Elijah messaged me saying he wasn't playing much anymore, but I'm sure the rest of them will start getting some games under the belt. I think Richard actually is down to play in the Liverpool League, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, which will be interesting. But okay, not much change on the ratings. So we'll move on to the Welsh Chess Premier League. Do you want me to click somewhere for this, or
if you go on the home page?
Okay.
Oh, you're just going to go back through everything. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
If you scroll to any of the WCPLs in the calendar. No, not in the calendar, on the latest news bit. If you just scroll down.
Oh, just scroll down, yeah?
Yeah. And then where it says there, you can click with info. Yep. and that's the home. This is the WCPL page. So then I think you can click WCPL teams at the top. There's a little tab, and some teams have sent in their playlists.
Oh, fantastic! I haven't analysed this yet, actually.
So yeah, I think there's 7 teams in the Open, but only 3 squad lists at the moment.
Okay, so you've only got 3 squad lists. There's 7 teams. So Cardiff, your squads, pretty strong at the top.
Well, I always think it's funny though with Cardiff, because I think I've been involved with the Premier League for something stupid like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years. And I'm pretty sure every single year we've always had the best squad on paper. If you look ratings wise, you think, oh, Cardiff should win. I think we've won it twice in that time.
Wow.
It's just never happens. I think, we have real problems in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, Abergavenny are obviously significantly weakened in you rating wise, but it starts getting down to board 5 and 6. If they get a fold, it's all 1900s versus 1900s. And then how many boards is the Welsh Premier League?
So we're 6 boards.
Okay, so they'd have to win some like level matches on the bottom 3 or something like that to normally stand a chance, I guess. So, but well done for Abergavenny for getting a team in, and North Cardiff as well. Don't know if you're strongest on paper now, mate.
Well, of course we are. Of course we are. If we had our top 6 out, we'd blast Jose will only play against us as well. Like last season, he rolled him out against Cardiff and then put him back for the rest of the season.
Put him back on the shelf. Just need you for one game, Cardiff. But so actually, does everybody like put their best team out against you then, really? Is that how it works?
I mean, they probably don't have to. I mean, last season we couldn't even get out 6 players, so you just turn up. I mean, we lost to Newport, which was pretty scandalous. And we lost the last match to the Full Ponty, who were a good side, but we outrated them by a stack. And I think we're 6 individuals turning up. I think these others are teams. Especially White Knights when they won it, they actually had a team, and I think they're always gonna trump 6 individuals playing for their own gains.
Yeah. So it's that team effort, isn't it? I mean, it's quite interesting here because it's only 6 boards, but it's spread out, isn't it? Quite far, so you need a big squad in order to choose from. Because I mean, looking here, you've got 15 players here. Okay, if you take Jose, who only wants to play 1 game, or hopefully play more, of course. But you could easily split this in here. I mean, this North Cardiff team, and most of these are young players here. They could all split up. You could split that in half and actually just have 2 teams in the top.
You probably can't, right? Because to play 6 matches, and you can't add any players to your squad. This is why we defaulted boards last season as Cardiff, because you have your 15 players. If your 15 players are unavailable, you can't go adding. Wow. But I think what North Cardiff can do is they have teams in the under 1850 league. So anyone under 1850 can play for those, even though they're registered for.
So if I go to under 1850 teams here, so we've got Cardiff Tigers. Here. Oh, hang on. There's a Castle Ned team. Where is Castle Ned?
It's West Wales.
Okay. Good to see them entering a squad. And then you've got the North Cardiff Pumas and Lions.
So this is So I think a lot of the guys in the Pumas, for example, are also registered for the full squad. But I mean, I guess the way North Cardiff is set up, they'll probably give opportunities to their young players.
Yeah.
To play for both teams.
Which is really good to see. And it looks like they've even got some spaces to fill here. Can they take 15 in the under 1850?
They only play for 4 boards, so I'm going to say no. But I'm not 100% sure. But I think if all the teams have 10, then I would guess the limit is 10.
Yeah. Okay. Well, obviously, looking forward to more teams being updated there. And I mean, is it something that we should? Is the fixtures up and everything, and we can see this, or it's just got round 1?
That's the dates. I can't see anywhere who plays who on what dates, which would kind of be good to know quite soon, I guess.
So the under 1850 doesn't start till January.
Yes, because there's less teams.
And it's just 1 game on 1 day.
Yeah, I think they're all Sundays, so it's 1 game at about 1:30 p.m. So it's quite. I think it's quite a nice schedule. Like, it is kind of a whole day gone, but you don't have to wake up early. You can kind of like roll out.
I guess it's one way that you could you could argue that, you know, playing chess in Wales can it's another at least 5 weekend days in the year. All of a sudden, if you play like 4 or 5 weekend tournaments on top of that, starts to mount up. You know what you can and can't play. These are the teams. So there's only actually 5 teams in the under 1850. I thought there'd be more. I thought there'd be more in the lower section than in the higher section.
Yeah, I think last season there was, I think, 5 in both. So I think the main WCPL has grown with the addition of North Cardiff and Morriston. I think the 1850 maybe lost a team. I don't know who went, and then there's a North Cardiff teams added there as well. But yeah, it was quite small last season, as I recall.
Okay, it'd be nice to see that build up. I mean, for me, it's obviously difficult to travel down just for one game on one day of a weekend. I'd love to see it over a whole week or something like that, or 4 games in the weekend, but it's just not going to change. And that's not a criticism. I think it is how it is, and it should stay like that. And probably just quite a nice, friendly event. Is it? Is that how you describe it?
I think so. I think it's kind of nice that you, because until recently you played home and away matches, so it would just be at your venue on a weekend. But I think it's now that you kind of get everybody gathered together at the same time for the matches, and you can be playing and you might be able to watch, Jose against Daniel happening in the same venue, because there's a rumor that Daniel's got a team for this season as well. So if we have Jose, Daniel, Greg, Tim, myself there, it's kind of, I don't know, it feels like quite a high profile event.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it's good.
Are you allowed to say who you think Daniel might be playing for, or?
I would say the full Ponty.
So have they signed him up somehow? Is this how it's worked? Is this like gossip, or?
He played for Ponty in something. He used to play because he lived in Ponty in his first couple of years in Cardiff.
Okay.
So he knows some of the players, but these are just rumors, so we'll see. I mean, if he played, it would either be for Cardiff or for full Ponty, and he's not in the Cardiff squad. So
yeah, I mean, it'd be great. I was asked. I think Charles Morris was even looking at getting the North Wales team together. It just doesn't make sense to travel all the way down there for one game, because you'd have people like Charles Morris, Richard Dyneley, myself, and actually we've got is it not James Thomas, but another Thomas up in Liverpool as well. I can't remember which one it is.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah. Okay. Jack Thomas, and then I think we've got a couple of others as well. So probably from the Wrexham team or wherever it would be, and so we'd actually have quite a strong team. It just doesn't make any sense to do it.
That's fair. Actually, one last point is when you mentioned that you'd like to see it all on one weekend, but that would never happen. But actually, what I think would be interesting is to leave the Premier League as it is now, but at some point even roll about the idea of having some kind of team tournament over maybe a bank holiday or a long weekend where you have maybe 3 days and you can have 6-7 rounds potentially. And I mean, I'm not sure how many teams to support it, how many boards you'd have it over, but I think it'd be quite a nice idea.
Yeah, I think that would be a fantastic idea, and that means that we could. I mean, you could keep it if you wanted loosely based on the teams that are in the WCPL. But then, of course, it would make it so much easier for us in traveling down, and we could have a North Wales team that would make sense for us to come down and do that, or maybe a not living in Wales team.
It'd be Johan. By a long way, wouldn't it?
Well, I guess Johan could play for our team as well, then, couldn't he? So
you fly over Richard Jones as well.
Yeah, well, we pay his airfare to get him in. Yeah, yeah, that would be great. But yeah, actually, no, I really quite like that idea. Actually, 6 or 7 rounds. We probably would need 7 rounds actually, because you've got already 5, 6, 7 teams here, plus the North Wales team. That would actually be really quite a spectacle, actually.
And I guess the question would be: would it be that you have to have only Welsh players, or could you have maybe one non-Welsh player in your team?
Are you going to start like tinkering with the format? You have to have you're allowed one non-Welsh player.
Well, I mean, because it's already. the rules are already a bit funny because it used to be they had to be Welsh flagged and they changed it, so it's no longer they have to be Welsh flag.
What do they change it to?
I think they maybe have to live in Wales because I know we have Aneshka in our team. Her nationality's Czech, but she played for us last season. So I don't know the rule, but she was allowed to play. And I think Newport also had somebody who was non-Welsh. But yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting thought anyway. But I mean, I prefer playing team events to individual stuff personally. I think
I think that would be great. And I think the thing is that we wouldn't mind being on different teams as well. I know that obviously we all like to be on the same team and stuff, but we'd actually quite like it that we'd have our team and your team and somebody else's team. And
it would be, you have that camaraderie. But I mean, I'm already having a thought that the Welsh chess chat team could be dangerous, right?
We'd be too dangerous. That's the problem. I think we should split up into 3 different teams, and then pit them against each other. That's the way to do it.
You're only saying this because you'd be upset that myself and Johan would be on higher boards than you. You'd have to.
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah. No, that's a great idea, actually. To have a team tournament loosely based on the WCPL. I also think, though, why have any rules about whether you have to be Welsh flagged at all? The team just has to be that you represent just has to be from somewhere in Wales that you're loosely affiliated to, shall we say?
Well, I mean, I guess you could argue that you could have no restrictions at all, and if Manx Liberty want to pay their Romanian GMs to come and play in Wales for a weekend, let them. So
yeah, sure, let them. I'd love that to happen. That would be fantastic. And we could let people with the money to be buying in the, you could be paying for spaces. If they wanted to. If somebody thought that the WCPL was worth paying money for, then yeah, great. Why have the restrictions? Obviously, it should be for Welsh players, I guess. But it's also for Welsh players to run teams as well and then pick Welsh players. So if there's a non-Welsh team wanted to enter, why stop them?
Yeah, we'll have them in, take their rating points, to send them packing.
Send them packing. Right, okay, well, more updates on the WCPL to obviously come in future weeks as we get more teams in. But okay, well, let's discuss the disaster that was Title Tuesday this week. And I'll even leave this picture up. I don't even want to load up a chessboard because it was terrible, wasn't it, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, just from the start, it was just a shambles. Like the whole, even when we take away what happened on the board, which wasn't great. Like off the board, it was just it just felt, it was a weird vibe, the whole Title Tuesday thing. And when I was working, I was watching Nakamura streamed the early Title Tuesday that happens about 4 p.m. and he was getting really annoyed with it as well, because you can't view games when you finish your own. And I think this is the most annoying thing, right? When I finish my game, I want to see how yourself and Johan are doing, then I want to see how Carlson's doing, who the top players are. And now it's you finish and you can't see them because apparently that will help people cheat, right?
So let's just put it into some context and just explain what's actually happened. So Vladimir Kramnik, I mean, can I even load up his chess.com account to show people as well? He's basically gone off on a rant. And if anybody listens to, obviously we know that you listen to us first and foremost every week, but if you listen to the C Squared chess podcast by Fabiano Caruana and Christian Chirola, you'll notice that they had Vladimir Kramnik on, and he was very heavy on talking about cheating in online chess. And obviously he's a former world champion, so he's got quite a lot of, sway in what he says. His statistics were terrible. I don't think he knows what maths actually is. But he did actually have some points in some respects, which I thought was quite interesting. And you see here, he's got his name, and then actually that says there, despising cheaters. I know it's a bit small on the chat. I'll try and make it a little bit bigger. But anybody can just Google this. You can just type in Vladimir Kramnik and chess.com, and you'll find it is. And his statement here is, I have decided to stop playing on chess.com from tomorrow on. Just too many obvious cheaters here, and nothing is done to clean the platform from those small crooks. Harsh words, but true. Would continue informing those who care, publishing interesting statistics, though. His statistics are very interesting. He hopes to come back one day when there's less cheating. He promises to try his best to save chess from this disease, and is fighting with natural squeamishness, which is the main reason of his chess.com departure. The strength is in truth. What do we make of that, Alex?
I mean, so I kind of agree a little bit with what he says. The problem is he's so deluded that all the rubbish he is, he says so much nonsense that the things he says that make sense just get devalued because he's spouted all this stuff on the side. So, for example, in the podcast, he gives some statistics where he says, this is how many people cheated out of 100 against Carlsen. Or maybe was it 100 games or X number of games? He said, 6 cheat, or I think it was 1,000 games or something. 6 cheated against Carlsen, 11 against Nakamura, 72 against me. So he was basically making out that people would only cheat or mostly cheat against him on chess.com and that no one else was a victim. He's like, I'm the most cheated against player of all. And the problem is, I'm sure he's been cheated against. I've been cheated against. You've been cheated against. Like, cheating happens.
Yeah.
I think his problem is he's like, well, I was a former world champion. If somebody beats me and they are not in the 2600 plus club, they are cheating. That's his attitude.
Well, I mean, I don't think even 2600 plus cuts it. I mean, he's been very verbal against Hans Niemann, who is high 2600s, just dipped below 2700s. And he says, this boy can't possibly beat me. I'm a former world champion. You can't possibly beat me. This must be ridiculous. But yeah, I agree. He does spout a lot of nonsense out, and somebody. But I think the thing is, he's kind of got some points, and the thing that interested me actually is, I think one of his points that I really thought actually he's got some length in that is that actually he was talking about how when you look at cheats in other sports and other games. And he was talking about how, if there's an opportunity to do it, some people will do it. And how many have we been catching at the moment compared to what other sports have been catching? Do you think that that's a fair point?
It is. But I think the difficulty, without having all the knowledge, is that it's very difficult to catch somebody cheating at chess, because I think in other sports you're either, maybe say if you're an athlete and you're on drugs, you're cheating. If you're not on drugs, you're not cheating, and there's no kind of in between.
Yeah.
But I feel like with chess, okay, if you cheat on every move, you get caught. If you cheat on 1 or 2 moves a game, you're never going to get caught, but you're still cheating.
Yeah.
And I think, that's sometimes what all it takes, right? I mean, the difference between 2 players, and I say this, between myself and people stronger than me and people weaker than me, you're not on every single turn of the game playing a different move to they would. There's maybe 2 or 3 critical moments whereby the better player will make a better decision. If you have an engine assisting them on those 2-3 moves, that's enough to swing the result of a game. And to say beyond all reasonable doubt that somebody's cheating is near impossible.
Yeah, it's really hard to. If you're going to accuse somebody, you have to be very, very high. But and just to back your point up there, I mean, 2 weeks ago I beat a 2800 player in Title Tuesday, and then this week I lost to somebody rated 2000. So there's 800 points difference there between the two, which is just crazy. And it just shows you just how volatile the rating system is within it, and you can lose to some low-rated players. You can go and beat some massively high-rated players. It really is swings and roundabouts there. But the thing is that we mentioned about accusing somebody of cheating, and you have to be really, really sure before you do so. That doesn't actually tie into our legal system, though, does it? So how many people have been sent to jail with wrongful convictions? And how many wrongful convictions? And they've lowered the bar in actual criminal court when people have killed people and done horrendous things, and we still sometimes get it wrong. So surely we should lower the bar just a little bit in chess, and we will unfortunately get it wrong a couple of times. We're not sending anybody to jail, though, are we? But we're going to be catching a load of cheaters, and that would mirror our legal system.
I mean, okay. I mean, arguably we should. It makes no difference to me, really. I guess the only reason I would be against it is because it's what the top players want, and I think if you always just give in to what Kramnik and Nakamura want, they have too much power. If you ban everyone who maybe is cheating or maybe is getting better, like fine, I'll still be there and I play Title Tuesday for fun. Like, I know they say, it's a money event. It's a money event. Okay, it's not for me. If I ever win the money on chess.com, my account will be banned the next day.
I'll be clicking report.
Quite right. But I think, so when I was watching Nakamura stream as well, he was trolling Kramnik a bit to start with, but then he was playing someone and did he draw or lose to someone like 2400 on chess.com? And he's going, I'm not saying anything, very sus, very sus.
Yeah.
So now it's the thing whereby because Kramnik's opened the can, every time any of those players, and chat was just going cheat. Whereas I think the guy was from India, which when I see the India flag, I think you're just pretty good at chess, right? Like
it's horrible though, isn't it? Because basically he's just saying that somebody's cheated there. He's got no proof, but somebody just played a good game at Blitz Online, and he's just basically, just because he's lost or drawn, this is dead stuff. It's just really bad and really bad etiquette. I saw a tweet about that actually, which supported what you just said there actually as well. I was quite disappointed in Nakamura for going down that route, but how do they keep on winning if there's all these cheats in? How's he won so many Title Tuesdays if there's so many cheats in it?
Yeah, I mean, it's because they're all just cheating against Kramnik.
Oh, okay, yeah, just Kramnik, yeah, okay. So if you do play Kramnik on chess.com, make sure to cheat against him because, well, I just think it'd be funny, to be honest. So I'll be if I do get drawn with him, I might just have to load up something and just for a laugh.
That's good.
Just say, well, it's Kramnik, everybody else is doing it. Okay, yeah, maybe don't do that. Really, that's just a joke. Okay, right. Well, that's Title Tuesday. So you can't observe games anymore, which also would have ruined the stream because that's what my stream was all about, was observing from a neutral account. So it would have had to have been waiting for a game to finish and then for it to appear before you would be allowed to watch it. And of course, you could just follow the person that's streaming games. So I think that's what Johan was going to do. But I also, that in my loss to the 2000, she played very well. I also had my Wi-Fi went down as well at the time, so I had another technical issue on top of everything. And actually, it went down before the Title Tuesday as well, so I couldn't even log in to help him set up the stream. So yeah, crazy technical issues. Okay, well, we're kind of on to the last points, or last couple of points, shall we say, Alex, which is Welsh chess players traveling abroad to play chess.
Yes,
I did actually have the Mexican. If we start with this one very quickly, see some clothing and NICADs.
Did you ever play the World Juniors, John?
I never played it. No.
No, me neither.
I think I was just.
You went to uni, right?
Yeah, I went to uni.
When you're age, 19, 20, 21, I guess.
Yeah, I went to university and I think I went to the under-18 World Youth in my first year of uni. And then that was it. It was Olympiad actually after that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Tell you what though, if it was Mexico City, you'd have gone, wouldn't you? Like,
to be honest, no, I don't think I'd have been able to afford it at that point.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, it's just too much money to go to. I mean, maybe if it was funded, I don't know. I don't actually know if this is funded. So
I assume not. It wasn't back in my day.
Yeah, well, obviously Hans Niemann, Hans Moke Niemann from America is the top seed here. Loads of Indian players are not there. I did see a post about some of them being denied visa entry.
Interesting.
Which might be why they're not there. But we do have our very own. Keep scrolling.
Keep going.
There he is, Ethan Rathbone-Jones from Wales, with his representing us amongst many Mexican players. Has he played some games yet?
Round one's 11 o'clock this evening, so 5 minutes time.
Oh, looks like you've lost to a 24-94
No,
IM.
he hasn't lost. That's how many points the other guy has.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh.
But yeah, it hasn't started. It's tonight.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, good luck to Ethan. I hope that it was on board 14. Do we know if the games will be live?
I'm pretty sure they are live from what? So I'm not sure how many, but I guess if it's World Juniors, he should be live today for sure.
Oh, fantastic. Right. Well, good luck to him, and we'll keep track of how he goes on. I'm guessing if there's 11 rounds, we'll still be following this next week as well.
Correct.
Yeah, brilliant. So we can dissect some of his games maybe if we haven't got any games to look at. But yeah, so it's obviously, with it being in Mexico, there's obviously a heavy presence from Mexico, but also see an American there, Canadian here, a few other flags, and then it quickly tails off to being a lot of Mexican players, Cuban players there as well. Obviously heavily entered from that side. If you click on the girls, I know that Tyrone Kenyamurala is for Ireland over there. Actually, I didn't see any. Is there any Scots or
no Scots?
No Scots. So no, and English. We've got Shreyas Royal, I think, is playing in this. Yeah. So
interesting to see how he gets on there against people his own.
Yeah. How old is he now? I wonder as well.
Goodness knows.
He's not like 18, 19, 20. He must be 15 or something. But yeah, an American tops the girls as well. Chrissy Yip. Very strong player. And then it's Trisha Kenyamurala from Ireland. Is there? She was like over 2300s only a few months ago.
Because they had the same rating, the British. They're both like 2360, and then But I think 2360, I'd have fancied playing her quite a lot, to be honest. I'd have had a 10-game match with her.
Yeah, I bet you would. But the juniors, they go up and down so quickly, don't they? And we haven't got a Welsh entrant in this one, but I don't think there is many entrants there's no English entrant by the looks of things. So I'm guessing this must have been offered out to English players. And no English girl fancied it.
Well, that's surprising, because I assume that would have been fully paid for.
Yeah, I'm guessing with all the funding England have got now, they can't send an entrance into the World Girls Championships.
Interesting.
Oh, how embarrassing. Okay, where did you say that? North Macedonia?
North Macedonia. Yeah.
Okay, right, let's go back there. And,
that's another place I'd like. I'd happily play tournaments Mexico City or North Macedonia.
All right, so North Macedonia is what then?
NKD.
NKD.
Because they were just Macedonia before, and then Greece threw a hissy fit, didn't they? So they had to be North Macedonia.
Did you say MKD? Right. Okay,
MKD,
right, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So here we're looking at the World Seniors Championship. So we've got the over 50s, which is obviously we've got a Welsh team in. Well, they're not at the top, which is a surprise. They're called Wales Salers. So we've got Sven, Mark Adams, Lee Davis, David Perrett, and Gary Thomas in this team. Sven's got 2 out of 3, top scorer. And then
he had a good win today.
Is Lee Davis on 1 out of 1 as well, 100%? Played one game, won one game.
He has. He's on fire.
On fire, Lee Davis. Congratulations, guys. So it looks like they lost their first game 4-0. Here we go against Montenegro. But then they beat North Macedonia 4-0. And then they got Sven got his win against England 2, Stephen Dishman. Good win for Sven. But the others got turned over. And then tomorrow they're playing against, I'm guessing tomorrow they're playing against China.
China's women's team.
Oh, is it? Is that China's women's team? Is it?
Because it's got W at the end. It means that they're the women's prize.
All right. Well, good luck, guys. And can we get these games live online?
Yeah, they were today. I think not everyone. Maybe because they lost, they won't be tomorrow. But I think they were live. So
what's this Silers thing mean?
I don't know. I think sometimes when they have multiple teams, they call them like Wales Cymru and Wales Silers.
Well, these are both Silers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, hopefully somebody from the over 50s and over 65 teams can tell us what this means for us, our young ears. My young ears with my grey hair. But we've got in the over 65s Peter Varley, who beat me recently. John Fletcher, Lee Davis. Hang on.
So Lee Davis is playing in both. He must be, because they have 4 players for the other team and 5 for this. So I guess
wow.
There's nothing stopping playing for both.
Right, okay. John Waterfield and Tony Hughes as well. They look like they put quite a few points on the board, actually, but maybe it's just deceptive. Tony Hughes with 2 out of 3 top scoring at the moment. Again, games are online live if they're on the high enough board, so I should imagine their game against France would have been. They went down 3-1 there, but Peter Varley with a good draw on board 1. I don't feel as bad to losing to him now. And then they beat Finland 3-1. Quite a good result, actually. And then they lost to Belgium 3.5. And then they've got Switzerland tomorrow, which surely would be a tough pairing.
It looks seeded 14, so yeah, certainly they'll be outrated. But I think that's
by that much.
People they want to be playing against, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit above your level. That's where you kind of want to field it. So, well, good luck to all the teams, all the players as well, and in North Macedonia. And is it a nice place where they've gone? Is it a bit of a holiday destination, or?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know, but I think it's so small that, especially if they have rest days and stuff, they should certainly be able to get to somewhere nice. So yeah, it'll be good. I assume by this point next week we'll have final results and maybe even a report by some of the players.
It would be great to get some feedback, guys. I'd love to know any interesting games. Yeah, well, good luck. Okay, right. Well, I'm going to leave that on as we finish up. I'm going to leave the picture of Vladimir Kramnik's chess.com page up because I think that's what everybody really wants to see as well, which is very important. So we'll just make that a little bit bigger for people. He's really happy guy. Obviously, fantastic chess player, but very happy all the time. Right, Alex, anything else that I've missed?
No, nothing else from me.
All right, well, thanks very much for joining me, Alex. And thanks very much for watching. Thanks for watching on record, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.